Well, I've covered Tesla for almost a decade. I've reviewed their cars, I've bought one of their cars, and now I own their stock. Welcome to episode 3 of techAU.Tesla, and today I want to dedicate the episode to buying Tesla stock because for the very first time I have invested in Tesla stock and I'm now the proud owner of 4.94 shares of Tesla, which might sound like a strange number, but I'll explain. So let's start off the journey of back when Tesla first went public. I was still watching the company and I knew this was going to happen, seen it as an opportunity, so I started to look into what it would take to invest in shares. Now, obviously I'd never bought shares before, even locally in the ASX, but certainly hadn't bought them on the US exchanges, and investigated with the bank that I was with at the time and seen if I could invest, and they basically told me no, they don't trade internationally. So that would mean that I have to go to another bank and sign up with their account, pay a bunch of fees, kind of just put it in the too hard basket. And a few years on, obviously you look back on that experience and kind of regret it, like most people, that they didn't invest earlier. But let me tell you, I don't think the story of Tesla is done yet. So it might be $800 something a share now, and I think they're really just getting started. A few of the reasons why I believe that is if we look at what's happening in just this year alone. So they're going to fire up the Giga Berlin factory. So another huge manufacturing facility that's going to spit out tens or hundreds of thousands of cars a year. Giga Texas, one of their newest, probably their biggest new facility that's coming online. And at that location, they'll be starting to produce Cybertrucks and Tesla Semi, which that's Tesla getting into the commercial world, which have really not done to this point. And while the volume of those semis might not be massive in 2021, in the years to come, I can see that being a massive growth area for the business. Pair with all that the fact they've got FSD. You've seen what the videos of the FSD beta participants show, and that's real progress in the self-driving autonomous space. Now, right now they charge $10,000 for unlocking that for an existing owner, but that package, obviously what it's going to do is enable the robotaxi fleet. And when that gets turned on, whether you're an owner or Tesla start to put their own vehicles into the fleet, they're going to be making margin, big bits of margin on each one of those rides. So if you own the car, they might take 20 or 30%. Obviously, if they make the car, then they're only getting that car at wholesale price, and they've got a lot more revenue to make from it. So that is a quick spin around like why I think, well, they're 800 now. I see a future within the next 10 years where it could easily 5x the money that we're putting in now. So to run you through where I'm at personally, 5,000 at the moment is still meaningful to me. But if it went to zero, this risk is not going to ruin me financially. So I figure for a reasonably decent chance at a big upside, it was worth the investment risk. Now let's talk about the actual practicalities of buying US stock, because I know not a lot of people have done it. Those who have might have used a service that I use, which is called Stake. And so I found out about this service a few months ago when they sent me a press release and indicated in that a bunch of Aussies had had success in buying US stocks, namely Tesla, through their platform. And so knowing that was around, I certainly considered that, compared it to what would have faced going through a traditional bank. And it just seems like the fees are a lot better in Stake. Now, they're a mobile first kind of company, so great mobile app to be able to trade and send funds and that sort of thing, and monitor the progress of stocks as well. So that was something I wanted to try from having that background and understanding that it existed. And so I gave it a shot, and a couple of days ago, after having the discussion with the family about how much we wanted to contribute, we deposited those funds into Stake, and they take a couple of days to clear. And what happened in the US is they had Martin Luther King Day, so that was another public holiday on a day where the markets would otherwise be open. So at 1:30 this morning, I got out of bed, and that time is important because it's 9:30 a.m. on New York time. So that's when the stock exchange opens, and I was able to start buying the Tesla shares that I wanted. So the goal was to go and grab 5 shares. Now, I learned something through the process, and that is due to the fluctuation in the share price in after hours trading, that meant that I was a little under my estimation. So by the time the share market opened, shares had risen a little bit, and I still think in the years to come, that's going to be insignificant to where the price is heading. So ultimately, the transaction, the movement and the purchase of the shares through stake was pretty seamless. Got email recipients or receipts of those transactions, so that sort of gives me confidence through the process that not only the funds were deposited and then available to me, but then the stocks were also purchased. And so now I see in the app in my portfolio, I can see that. And thanks to somebody already using a referral link I used for stake, then I also got an opportunity to have a free share. And the share that you spin this wheel, and it happened that the share I won was GoPro. So just had today, they've put on a couple of points, which is good. And now it's sort of an exciting different way that I can monitor and watch the company through a slightly different lens. But this does introduce the issue of potential conflict of interest, right? So I cover a lot of EV stuff on the site. But let me tell you, just because I own some shares now, it's not going to change the way that I report on things. If Tesla screw up, I'm going to write about it. If another company does excellent stuff, I'm going to write about that. I love EVs in general, and ultimately what we're talking about is getting rid of ICE vehicles and EVs becoming the norm. So I think there's a huge potential market there. It's not going to be stealing from each other's too much. It's really going to be going after the ICE market share, which is certainly in Australia, it's still around 99% of the market share of vehicles. So all that aside, you've also got Tesla's entry into energy. Clearly, they're doing some great things in that space. And as their battery facilities start to ramp up, they're going to be able to produce more of these, not only power walls, but the power packs for commercial and industrial and grid scale power. So they've had amazing success in Australia. We are starting to put big solar batteries in. So batteries to collect the power from solar and wind. And Tesla has been really successful at winning a lot of those contracts in Victoria, New South Wales and beyond. So they've also got then the auto bidder software that is able to sell the power that they've got stored into the grid. And because it's so fast and intelligent and can do that in microseconds, they're able to sell that power and make money using that software. So, certainly for the provider that buys the power packs, and they make their money through the hardware. So it's just a very multifaceted business, something that's really interested me as I've covered it over the years. And so I probably know more about Tesla than any other company that I've covered, maybe Microsoft or a few others that I've watched for a very long time. But yeah, this is one that gets me excited and excited me enough to go and go through the process of investing. But as a disclaimer to that potential conflict of interest, in my author bio down the bottom of every post, I'm going to include the fact that I own Tesla shares. But remember, it's not going to influence my decision about what I write about the company. It's just an extra little funding thing for me that if it turns into extra revenue, I might get to pay off my house a bit earlier than I otherwise would. So that's it. I plan on owning it for many years to come, and I'll be holding, and who knows, I might buy some more in the future. But that's it. That's the end of the episode. If you've got questions about the whole experience of buying US stocks or what I've done or why I've done it, leave a comment below. And the last little thing, I hit a nice little milestone today, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Kind of cool, not millions like others, but we're working on it. There's going to be lots more content, so if you haven't yet, please go and subscribe. Cheers, guys.